Hey everybody, Michael here with some unit circle tips and tricks for how to be able to solve some of these unit circle problems quicker. So as you can see, I have the unit circle drawn here along with some highlighting on certain areas, and those will make sense as I'm going through these tips and tricks. So my first tip and trick is radians and their triangles after simplifying them. And the reason I add after simplifying is because if you have like 4 pi over 6, obviously that's 2 pi over 3, and that'll be a different triangle. So if it's, if it's pi over 4 or any number pi over 4 after it's simplified, it'll be the 90, 45, 45 degree triangle. If it's a number pi over 3, then it's going to be 60 degrees will be the angle right next to the center. And if it's a number pi over 6 after it's simplified, then it'll be 30 degrees right next to the center. And that is displayed here by the highlighting. As you can see, all the ones that have pi over 6 all make a 30-degree triangle there. All the ones that are pi over 4 make 90, 45, 45. And all the ones that are pi over 3 create the 90, 60, 30 opposite the pi over 6. So those help solve it a little bit quicker. Some other tricks that I found really helpful is so finding quadrants quickly helps a lot with determining whether it's positive or negative, your end result. So if you're given the degree measurement, finding the quadrant becomes extremely easy. So if the degree is positive, then the quadrant your triangle is in will be 1 plus whatever number is in the hundreds place. If the degree is negative, then the quadrant is 4 minus whatever number is in the hundreds place of your degree. Another quick tip. So V's for negatives, that'll make sense as I go through one of these examples. And the 4 numbers you need to remember are 1, 2, square root of 2, and square root of 3, because those are the only 4 numbers involved in these triangles. The triangles are either going to be the legs are square root of 2, and the hypotenuse is 2, or the legs are going to be 1 and square root of 3, and your hypotenuse is still 2. Nice thing is the hypotenuse is always 2. So I'm going to flip over and go to some of these examples so that we can show some of these tricks in action. So I went ahead and drew the unit circle again here just so I had an easier reference. So example 1, sine of 2 pi over 6, just so we can get some simplifying in there. Obviously that'll simplify to pi over 3, which would then make it a 90, 60, 30, where the 60 degrees is the one next to the center. So right there we see that we've simplified to pi over 3. Which makes it 60 degrees next to the center. Because it's not 45 degrees, the legs are going to be 1 square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is going to be 2. And sine is just opposite over hypotenuse, so we take the square root of 3 over 2, and that is our answer. So you didn't need a whole lot of calculating or anything, just needed to know these simple rules. The next one is going to be cosine of 135, and this is going to be to show the finding the quadrant quicker via degree measurement. So because it's 135, we do the hundreds place, which is 1, plus 1, which gives us quadrant 2, which means our triangle will look like that. And because we know it's a 45-degree angle, our legs are going to be negative square root of 2 because it's in quadrant 2, along with positive square root of 2, and the hypotenuse is going to be 2. Cosine just being adjacent over hypotenuse gives us an answer of negative square root of 2 over 2. And then example 3 over here, flip this so you can see the unit circle as well. So example 3 is going to be negative sine of negative 135, and this is where the v comes in. So because it's negative, we go back over here to our unit circle, and instead of trying to go back 135 degrees, I'm going to find positive 135 instead, which is over here. And because our 135 is there, the v comes in that making a v here finds where our negative will land us. So negative 135 translates to positive 225, or 5 pi over 4. And now that we know that, we can find the rest of our answer here. So also because it's negative, the quadrant is in will be 4 minus whatever's in the hundreds place, which gives us quadrant 3. Here's another tip and trick that helps make it a little easier. If the ones place for the degree ends in 5, it's always going to be your 90, 45, 45 triangle. Because it's in quadrant 3, both legs are going to be negative square root of 2, and your hypotenuse is going to be 2. And sine just being opposite over hypotenuse makes our answer negative square root of 2 over 2. So those are a few quick tips and tricks that'll help you find answers on these unit circles a lot quicker than trying to write out all the answers and trying to draw the triangles and figure out what the legs are and where they go. So that I've noticed helped me out a lot. Hopefully these tips and tricks helped you out as much as they helped me.